Something in you to be birthed, regardless of what your past may have been, regardless of what you're currently going through. It does not hinder you from accomplishing that purpose. And I am brought to a story. So for our youth fellowship, we have this monthly Bible challenge. So each month we study a book of the Bible, and every evening questions are asked. Well, a question is asked, and then the person who gets the most answers for that month wins, right? So for January we were doing Genesis because it was the first month of the year, and so on. So we said we wanted to start with the first book. So because Genesis is a long book, we are going over into February to finish Genesis. But the story that is that kind of stood out for me and how it can be applied to our lives, I'm looking on Jacob. You remember Jacob, imaginal before him born, because he had a twin brother, Esau. So when his mom was giving birth, when Esau was coming out first, Jacob hold on and him heel to hold him back because he wanted to come out first. And throughout the life of Jacob, you can see that he is a Canaanite and a Genal. You understand? Because one of the time his brother Esau came home, and Esau was so hungry, and Jacob had food, and Esau was asking Jacob for food. So here Jacob, no, you have to give me a birthright first before you get the food. And like Esau said, really? And he must say, yeah, really? You think me a joke? So Esau, the way Esau was so hungry, him just say, well, what is in a birthright anyway? So he sold his birthright to Jacob. But also because Jacob connivingly got to Isaac, their father, to be blessed as the firstborn. So when Esau came home, he was very angry and furious. Jacob had to run away. So he ran away to this land where his uncle was, Laban. And it looked like this Canaanite Genal thing running the family too, because Laban tricked him, because he was to work for Laban 7 years to get Rachel, that is one of Laban's daughter. But after the 7 years, Laban gave him the older daughter first, Leah. So he had to work an additional 7 years to get Rachel for true. So it come like this Genal thing running the family. But also after Jacob did the work that he was to do, he was ready to leave and go back home, because he was thinking that by now Esau would conscience would have settled on him, not so furious and angry at him. But Jacob tricked Laban too. So he breed up the animals and stuff and ensure say the set that he was to take were the best set and the most. So he kind of breed up the animal them, because he was rearing Laban's animals. So he breed them up to make sure say what he was leaving with was the best set. So on returning now back to Edom, land of Edom, that is where Esau was. Because Jacob was worried, he kind of sent some of his servants before, because he got a lot of servants to go with him and cattle and so on. So he sent people with cattle, about 4 or 5 different sets in front, and he was behind. But what I vividly remember was one of the nights when he was there, it's like he was wrestling with God. You understand? God was wrestling with him because God had a different purpose for Jacob, and not for him to be a Canaanite or a little Genal. So God was wrestling with Jacob at night, and Jacob was so determined Jacob a fight back. So God did kind of have to cripple him away if he make him stop. And like Jacob asks, who are you? Who are you? You understand? No, God was asking, who are you? And God really know that it was Jacob, but he basically wanted Jacob to recognize himself for who he is. So he was asking Jacob, who are you? And he replied, Jacob. And God answered and said, well, today your name will be changed from Jacob to Israel. So because God wanted to birth nations out of Jacob, he could not carry on in that Canaanite way. You understand? And there are many instances in our life. I'm saying all of this to say that each of us really have a purpose here on earth. You understand? I was driving, sorry, I should not be doing that. But the traffic, I couldn't just sit down in the traffic and do nothing. So a lot of us, we have a purpose. We have work to be done here on earth. And we may not be able to do it because we think we may not be able to do it with the reputation or the past that we have. But God can bring out that gift. Or if you really focus, you can find that gift and birth that gift. So instead of being a Jacob and a Canaanite for all of your life, God sometimes have to stop you in your track shake you up, wake you up and say, listen, you're not gonna be a Jacob anymore, but you're gonna be a Israel, because descendants are gonna come down from you that you cannot number. And you also will realize that Abraham name was changed as well. So it changed from Abram to Abraham. Sarah name changed as well. So it's like each time God wants to do something in us, there's a shift, there's a change, something have to give, but you cannot remain the same way and birth what it is that God have for you. So just be reminded that don't make your reputation and your past and whatever that happened deter where you are going. And I post something on Facebook this morning, which is the year of becoming. Let this year be your year to become the greatest you can be in your life, in your marriage, in your relationship, at work, wherever you are positioned. Start right there and let this be your year of becoming.